Thank you very much for joining me on this Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. Thank you for taking the time to share this channel for awareness. I've been seeing that. Thank you. All right, let's dive into that. This will become Lee as soon as today. When you're seeing this, it may already be classified. They'll issue a track, all that stuff. With that said, the forecast holds. This video holds. Again, it will be a classified system at some point for today. Now, let me dive into it. Lots to cover. I want to get into the models, the wave heights, and where this may go long term. I'll show you those steering conditions. Now, the American model, European model, Canadian, German, all have this becoming a hurricane, even a major hurricane. There is some good news, though, as well to pass along, and I'd love to be able to try to pass along some good news as I take you step by step through a system. It has shifted. There's going to be a little more of a shift to the north. That would be very good for this area. Now, I want to show you that in a moment. With that said, everything I've been showing you has generally been holding, and this holds. Again, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, British Virgin Islands through Anguilla, St. Mart's over toward St. Bart's, Saba, Scotia, St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, Antigua and Barbuda, Guadeloupe, Dominica and Martinique. We need to monitor this clearly. I know some folks are taking preps. Do whatever makes you feel comfortable. We all have different means. With that said, if this track holds now, that would keep this at a safe margin away from the northeastern Caribbean. Does the weather change? Of course it does. We both know that. My promise to you is that I will be watching for any changes. I don't just look at the models. I'm really looking at the environment around it. And again, if anything changes, I will let you know. Now, yesterday when you joined me, and you could go back and look at yesterday's video, the European and American model, the two best models out there, had this a little bit closer. Now there's been a shift. Again, it was coming through here. Now a little shift to the north. That is good news. That is very good news for the northeastern Caribbean. That would put this, the European model would have the center of this 300 miles away or 480 kilometers away. The American model 270 miles away or 440 kilometers away. That is a safe distance. We need it to hold, but if that does hold, that is a safe distance away. That keeps the hurricane conditions away, and it even keeps the tropical storm conditions away off to the northeast. And here's why. In yesterday's video, I was talking about this. Adalia, that has been helpful. That is kind of paving the path to allow this to curve, and I'll show you why in a second. Now, as I mentioned, the curve, look where my hand ends up near Bermuda. I never wish a system on anyone else. We'll take it step by step. Hopefully, it kind of splits the U.S. and Bermuda. Hopefully, it misses Canada. Again, that's a bit down the road. We got to see what happens. First thing is first is, again, just trying to keep it away from land in the short term. Again, I don't want this to impact anyone. I don't even like storms, and that's one of the reasons I do not like hurricanes. All right, so getting into the models, again, super consistent. You see them here, and again, unless there's a shift to the south, if this holds, that is good news for the northeastern Caribbean. Yes, some of us making preps, and again, I mentioned the alert. We all need to be on alert in the northeastern Caribbean because as this evolves, again, it could shift a little bit more into our direction. Plus, there's not a center of this thing quite yet, or at least not a super well-defined center. As the systems get better organized, things become a little bit more accurate as far as the forecast goes. It's easier for these computer models to kind of latch onto it and say, hey, I see what it's doing, and it gives us a better feel of what could happen. Now, here's a look at the American model and some of the variations of that. You see it again, this would be a safe distance from the northeastern Caribbean, then making the curve. Here's Bermuda, still kind of a big wait and see down the road, but anywhere from the Atlantic region of Canada, New England, mid-Atlantic, including the Carolinas, of course, back through Bermuda should keep a very close eye on this. All of us are, I know, even in Florida in the Gulf. I do not see any scenario that brings this to Florida. I do not see any scenario now that takes this into the Gulf of Mexico. Again, I also, we talk a lot about, folks talk a lot about where storms are going. I like to let you know where they're not going to help try to reduce anxiety at least a little bit. All right, here's what's going on. Here's the Caribbean. This right here is the developing system. Now, this area up here, here's Canada. This area up here, this is what's left of Adalia. Not a classified system right now. Quite the wind and wave maker, though, to say the least up here. Because this is here, this is keeping this away. This right here is an area of high pressure. This acts like a fence. So you can see if my arm were to be that fence, and if this were over here, that would keep this going to the west and right into the Caribbean. But because Adalia has moved here, that's kind of pushed high pressure over here. That's a good thing. Puts a break in the fence. There is a gate for this to kind of work its way a little bit more to the northwest as we go out in time. So let me take you out in time. Again, this is the European model. This is by the time we get into Thursday. Now it is quickly going to intensify. And again, it's a scary system when you're sitting in the Caribbean and you're looking out there and you're like, hey, that thing, that's a monster and it looks like it's coming at us. But again, I'm going to take you step by step. I will watch for any single change around the clock and let you know. Again, here's what's left of Idalia, weakening, but it still keeps these blue H's away. This area of high pressure is still away, and that's why it's going to make a little bit of a curve. Hopefully, the sooner it curves, the better, at least for the Caribbean. Of course, I'm being mindful of everyone down the road. But again, thanks to Idalia kind of paving the path. Also down the road, watching fronts. There'll be one front and then another front in the United States and Canada. Those fronts, as they approach, also help to bring it up. So the timing and strength of these fronts will be essential into knowing if this comes into the United States somewhere or near Bermuda or up toward Canada. That is down the road. That is still kind of a wait and see, but know that I'm watching that for you. Now, by the time we get into this weekend, this is Saturday. This would be a powerful hurricane, but again, if this holds, that is a safe distance from the northeastern Caribbean. That keeps the hurricane conditions and the tropical storm conditions away. I don't want to see any more of a shift to the south, but again, we've had that shift to the north, and then watching these fronts back to the west to see how quickly this will draw up to the north, and that will be key for Bermuda, obviously, and especially Canada. And again, I mentioned New England and back toward parts of the mid-Atlantic that will be monitoring this. So going out in time further, here's Bermuda right there. This is by the time we get into next week. Powerful system, could be nearby Bermuda. This is also about a week from now. So again, weather's tricky in a 3 to 4 day period, yet alone a week from now. So we'll see kind of what happens. I mentioned the environment that I'm looking at. It'll still be a wait and see, and a wait and see if this kind of shifts its way up toward Newfoundland or Nova Scotia, keeping an eye on New England as well. All right, here's the American model. And again, the models are pretty much locked in agreement as of now. Going forward in time, by the way, there was that little blob. I don't know if I mentioned that over toward the Bahamas. That's nothing organized right now. All right, this is by the time we get into Thursday, and you see again this approaching system on Thursday evening. It'll be a strong tropical storm, about to be a hurricane as we work our way into Thursday. Then pulling forward again because of Idalia way up there, what's left of it, you see it making the curve. Again, as you watch this with me, the brighter colors kind of showing the power of this system, and I'll show you the winds and waves in a second. Very impressive to say the least. And I don't mean impressive in the good sense of the term, but just some very intense wave action and winds. And you see it here getting organized. This is Saturday morning, so it took you from Friday night, Saturday morning, kind of step by step. Again, if this holds, yes, powerful, no doubt, scary looking system, but it would stay away from the northeastern Caribbean. Now, this weekend, as it kind of pulls to the north, there'd be some rain bands, but not with the core of this system. Just some feeder bands that would kind of sneak in, could get some gusty winds here and there. Of course, the seas would be a mess. Those would be very high. You'd get some extra rain bands, enhanced chance of rain through the northeastern Caribbean with this here, then watching Bermuda down the road. Now, with everything I've been saying, again, if this holds and the environment doesn't change too much, that's also good news for the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, watching Cuba, here's Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic. That would keep it to the east. But what I'm really hoping is that it splits Bermuda, or at least gets on one side of Bermuda, splits the United States and Bermuda. But either way, by the time we get into sometime, just to give you a feel, Tuesday, Wednesday-ish, very close to Bermuda as we get into next week, based on what I'm seeing in the environment as it stands now. Look at these winds. Some of these will even be off my chart. So here's Trinidad and Tobago, for example, St. Lucia. By the way, Trinidad, we've got some rain. I'm going to get to that in a second. But this right here, see that red shading? This is by Thursday. That would be winds of 110 kilometers an hour or 70 miles per hour. I've got both units of measurement on there to keep it covered best I can. And then you see here the yellows popping up in the greens. Those are winds of 200 kilometers an hour or 125 miles per hour. That's a major hurricane. Major hurricanes 111 or higher. And then I've got some colors that are not even on the chart I typically use. We can see winds in this of 140, 150 miles per hour. I look at a lot of stuff I'm not even showing. Obviously the water temps, wind shear, Everything is conducive for strengthening in this system. That's why all the models have been really latching onto this. But this would be a safe distance away. You see the winds, northeastern Caribbean, kind of the purple shading, maybe some gust, 56 kilometers an hour, 35 miles per hour. We've had close calls. Obviously, we've had direct hits, but we've had close calls before like this. And as we work our way forward, just a massive, massive system. It is. And it's going to steal a lot of headlines. National media will be talking about it. Other outlets will be talking about it. And it will sound kind of scary, but again, I just want to track it for you. Just want to let you know what's going to happen with this. Again, if it's here, Turks and Caicos, Bahamas, we'd be okay on Monday. But again, thinking of my friends in Bermuda, and again, thinking of my friends in Canada, we have a lot of subscribers on this channel. I'll be watching this for you down the road. All right, getting a look at how strong it will get. And you see all the models. This is going out in time. The models bring it into this kind of pinkish, purplish, reddish shading here. That's Category 3 or Category 4. So again, almost everything is showing that this will be a major hurricane. Now, the winds are one thing. I mentioned that. The seas, they are going to be building. To give you an idea of this, just over the next couple days, got a lot of captains, mariners, those that have fishing interest on this channel, those that live in boats, live in ports. Now, as we go out in time here, see the wave height, this is in feet, and you see that green shading showing up. This is by Thursday. That green shading, that's about 20 feet. That's just over 6 meters. So again, the seas are going to build, those swells are going to work out, and I'll be monitoring that for you going forward. So the next name on the list is Lee. Again, as you watch this video, it may already be classified Lee, but this will become Lee, and then Margot and Nigel after that, and then we'll see what happens as we get down the road. All right, getting a look here. Look at that. Look at that blob right there. I get a weak disturbance sliding by Trinidad and Tobago. By that I mean it's not organized. Elsewhere, we've had some scattered showers and storms. There's that blob just off to the east of the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos. That is not organized. Scattered showers, Costa Rica and Panama. Here's Trinidad. Again, we had some rain and we still have some around. Keep me posted in the comments. We had some that was heavier earlier. Can't rule out some isolated spots of flooding. Grenada, same thing. As this kind of works its way through Trinidad and northern Venezuela, we could get some extra rain in Grenada. St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Vincent, the Grenadines, even a chance of some showers. I'll get to the forecast in this. This here is Tropical Storm Hova, and this one here will stay out to sea, keeping an eye on the eastern Pacific side. Southwest Mexico, this will not be moving in. We've got scattered showers and storms nearby, but this organized tropical storm, that one will be staying away. So getting a look at a couple things. Again, there's the increased chance of rain today, and then you'll see on the edge of your screen, Lee, which will be making its move toward the Caribbean and then starting to make that turn. Scattered showers around today, a little bit more Nicaragua, Costa Rica and Panama, Yucatan of Mexico. I'll get into the forecast specifically in a second, but we've got a few showers around, spotty showers we get into Belize, scattered about Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Cuba. We've got a few showers and storms that will be around today. As we get into tomorrow afternoon, generally the same thing holding, and there on the edge of your screen. Now, tomorrow into Thursday, we'll start to see it make its turn. That will hopefully make you feel a little more comfortable, and myself as well. Once I start to see it making its turn, then we'll really know everything is on track as we work our way from Wednesday into Thursday. Again, scattered showers. See a little flare up, some daytime heating, Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, Cuba, and we'll see some afternoon storms. And again, obviously all eyes on this as that'll start to make that curve up toward the northwest, which I broke down specifically. Let me dive into some forecasts, then let me recap in a second. Trinidad again and Tobago, that rain chance higher today, as I was just showing you, a 60% chance. Let me know what you get or don't get. Grenada with that area of rain nearby, a 40% chance for today, and another 40% chance today in Barbados, 30% chance for tomorrow. Isolated shower passing by the next couple days as we get back through St. Lucia, St. Vincent, the Grenadines, a 40% chance today, a 30% chance tomorrow. Working our way into the Yucatan of Mexico, isolated showers and storms, 30% chance. A 50% chance in Jamaica, not all day stuff, but scattered showers and storms in Jamaica the next few days. Cayman Islands will have about a 40% chance the next 3 days. Belize, isolated today and tomorrow, up to a 40% chance on Thursday, and just a very small chance of a shower, and very hot today in Puerto Rico. Boy, if you have not been getting the rain, we have been so hot in spots. Bahamas, rain chance 20% over the next 3 days, and Turks and Caicos, same thing. Passing shower will be possible. Turks and Caicos, 50% chance of a shower storm today in Haiti. Same thing, Dominican Dominican Republic, 40% chance tomorrow, 40% chance on Thursday. U.S. Virgin Islands, British Virgin Islands, isolated passing shower possibility. Of course, the seas are going to build huge in a couple days. Aruba, we are mainly dry. Again, none of this action, as I mentioned, as we watch this system that is becoming lee, will move toward the ABC Islands, Curacao, Bonaire, all in good shape. I don't see this driving into the Gulf of Mexico either. Guadeloupe, rain chance, kind of minimal, 20% chance, 30% chance. In Dominica today, 20% chance for tomorrow. As we get into Martinique, 30% chance today, a 20% chance for tomorrow, and a 20 to 30% chance St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat. All eyes, of course, off to the east, watching the system that will become a hurricane. Same thing, Antigua and Barbuda. Not a lot of rain. Barbuda, just a 20% chance. Anguilla, 10 to 20% chance over the next few days. St. Martin, Saba, Scotia, again, hit or miss showers. St. Martin will have a couple around, just not a whole lot of rain the next few days. Costa Rica, as I mentioned, Panama, Nicaragua, the rain chance will be higher. In northern Venezuela, looking at a 30% chance, 20 to 30% chance in Guyana, and mainly dry as we work our way into Suriname with those drought conditions. So again, all eyes on this system. Northeastern Caribbean, I mentioned, we're on alert. We've had some good news though, and again, I'll watch out for any changes. We just need that pattern to hold to keep this just to the north of us. If it holds as of now, all the really bad weather stays away. I'll be watching for that curve, as I mentioned. Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, Bermuda, the United States, Canada, monitoring that for down the road. Once it makes its turn, and especially as it develops, I'll have a good handle on where it will go after that. Hurricane season, a long way to go, but we'll go through it again storm by storm, ends November 30th. So again, I'll do my best to get to your comments, to try to answer some of your questions throughout the day. Hopefully I answered most of them here. I'm watching it for you. Thank you for sharing this channel. It is a weather community for you. Thank you for building this weather community. Have a good rest of your day.